the textures of our concepts as they were conjured in Noto, were sort of the expression of what relativism about people's describing made all aspects of thought and people definitive. Between the presents attempting to distinguish their abuse from their awareness, perspective from many people only interpreted resistance, wherein intelligence could support their permission to be at the same time. All information available to one awareness, didn't make that distinguishable from the people who were actually mirroring people onto themselves in visceral ways and hurling things at women in the street. We wonder, if from the hurling and bullying itself, if one would have been able to distinguish what rape was in context at this time. What happened was power attempted to consolidate itself at the anger's ripeness essentially. They were told what they wanted to hear, that was enough, it was a song that sounded nice, so all myopia, and pretension, insulated itself amidst the psychological spectrums of younger women especially. It didn't want to ask, but assumed itself the harbinger of something's enlightenment. The political intention here, tunnel vision them towards pretensions of basenesses and degeneracies at the association with certain thoughts, and made virtue out of denigrating and isolation of forms as a universal problem. The problem is, contrasts and awarenesses of the world of yesterday, although not as intimate nor broad, retain the quality of contrast. Myopia is easily identifiable, attempts at gravitating that, noticeable, polarity isn't that convincing. Money and media is in power for the same reason it was yesterday, but it does distinguish itself. And they spent billions doing it. A line of measure of people is less real. But they required that in you, in order to know themselves as the opposite. Thus a consciousness that is higher to the time is broken down, as a property has been stolen. All the same, the sociological interaction of recent has represented the attrition of corporate powers. In 2 North American nations, the misdirecting placement of advertising, never axiomed a relational awareness and shame and motivation based on what was going to inspire us here. An affirmation of authority over reality, failed, it stood on encompassing. And it showed. For some reason principle about what was universally, as a set of forms, as enemy and as nuisance didn't describe all quality of people's perceptual awareness and circumstance and isolation for would-be inheritors of a culture's function.